Hiya! Welcome! This is Records Roundup number 93 and the first one of 2026. Not a massive amount to show you today, but I feel enough to get one of these under my belt. So sit back and I'll show you what I've got over the past few weeks. First of all, we'll start with a 12-inch single, or I suppose an EP technically. And this is from an online store called Vision Merch, who are essentially acting as the American and British distributor for the Out of Line record label in Germany. So Out of Line have a couple of favourite artists of mine on their roster, one being Till Lindemann of Rammstein and the other being Blutengel, and this is Nothing Left featuring Solar, or could be Solar, Fake. This is the first Blutengel single or EP that I've bought. I was mainly wanting the albums, and there is still gaps in that collection that may take me a good long while to fill. But I figured I would pick this up because it worked out at like $15, and that was pretty cheap really. And also I pre-ordered a Till Lindemann 7-inch single that's not due out till March in the same order, so I'm hoping that that will get sent, and the postage that I paid, which was just a flat rate of I think $20, covers 2 separate shipments, but I'll worry about that in March. But this came pretty promptly. It seemed like it came from a warehouse or something in this country, even though it's an American site and it's classed as the Out of Line US store, but they also cover UK deliveries as well, because weirdly the Out of Line Europe store in Germany won't ship to the UK. Anyway, Nothing Left, 6 versions of the track on here. You can see what the name of all the remixes are on screen, and it is on gold vinyl, sort of like a browny gold there, but nice enough. Some marbling in it as well, which is probably not showing up brilliantly on camera. I've talked about Blutengel a lot on the channel the last month or two, so won't say too much more about them, other than I'm looking forward to hearing Blutengel versus Solar Fake and Nothing Left.
Silly enough to take the first thing heard as truth. It's just that lives were faking. It's just that sounds were breaking. Nothing left to leave here, and nothing left to defeat, and nothing left to break you. Nobody's gonna take you home, and nothing left for you to feel. There's no one left who could be his. Nobody's left to be loved. There's nothing left, you're all alone.
Next up is a pickup, a pretty new release, or a reissue I should say, from iMusic in Denmark. This is on the Music on Vinyl label. I did also check the price at Music on Vinyl, but iMusic, as they often do to be honest, seemed a bit cheaper. The postage rate was certainly cheaper, and the price of the album itself was a little less expensive than getting it from Music on Vinyl directly. And it is what I think was the only studio album from Alice DJ, Who Needs Guitars Anyway. Never liked that album title. I'm not sure why I dislike it so much. It just seems a bit smug. But anyway, I do like the stuff that's on here, the singles that I'm familiar with. Of course, Better Off Alone was the big hit. Back in My Life, I remember. Will I Ever, another great single. Not sure if there was any other singles that at least did well in the UK. Probably 1 or 2 others that had some traction in Europe. This is on 180 gram audiophile purple coloured vinyl. I was looking for the colour there, and it's a 25th anniversary edition. We'll get this out of the trademark MOV adhesive protector here for a better look at the record. Nothing ultra special, not a gatefold sleeve or anything. There is a nice insert there with that is an Alice DJ, that's the name of the project. I can't remember her name, but she was the vocalist or front woman for the project. Does have some notes on the back asking who is Alice DJ. The founder is called Judy, apparently. I can't believe she would be the founder. I think that's them embellishing it a bit, because it's going to be the actual producers behind it who would have founded it, surely. Anyway, to look at the disc, don't get purple vinyl that often. That's very nice, just a solid purple there. It's Eurodance, Eurotrance, really, if you want to be even more specific genre-wise. Takes me right back to the late 90s, turn of the millennium, when I hear stuff like this, and you know me. Unlike most of the old duffers here in the vinyl community, no offence, everybody, but I'm someone who is unashamedly a fan of this sort of dance music. It's never going to have any credibility here in the VC on YouTube, but why be the same as everyone else? Happy to have picked that up. Alice DJ, Who Needs Guitars Anyway? Bad album title, but I'm sure I'll love it. Next up, a pickup from Bandcamp, and I'm looking at the hype sticker now. It says it's an exclusive limited edition of 500. It is from Sea Fever, who I have shown once or twice on the channel before. Sea Fever, they've got members of New Order, Section 25, and a couple other people who've done things with the likes of Johnny Marr. Great electronic indie band, and this is their special Australian edition, which is a weird name for an album, but that's the name of it. This was an Australian exclusive release for Sea Fever and the Australian record label Trans.com, I think, or Transcom. I'd seen this advertised on their Instagram ages ago. Also looked it up on Discogs, and there was a couple of sellers selling it, but with taxes and everything, the price seemed pretty expensive. However, Sea Fever put out an Instagram post, I think just before Christmas, saying that they had a very small amount of these that were able to ship from the UK via their Bandcamp page. So I jumped on it, and also it is signed as well. I think other Sea Fever records I've got have been signed too, so if you like your autographed album or vinyl sleeves, then Sea Fever are a good band to get into, really, as it seems everything they do comes signed, to me anyway. It's got remixes and like radio edits and single edits on it, so it's a bit like an early compilation, really, even though they've only released, 2 studio albums so far. I will get it out of its adhesive outer, because I think this is coloured vinyl, some sort of blue, I believe. Bit of a closer look at these signatures there. Nice inner image of the band, and all your production notes on the other side, and there it is. Now that's looking a bit better on camera than it does to the naked eye, to be honest. It's like a kind of very dark grey blue, really, with some obvious marbling in it as well. Lovely stuff. An Australian exclusive release for all intents and purposes, but really glad that I was able to pick it up. The price of it, I think it was about £40 including postage, but that obviously represented a saving from plumping for it direct from Australia, because postage would have been more, taxes, etc. So I'm really happy to have got the special Australian edition album of remixes and singles basically from Sea Fever. Alright, I'm excited now to show you something that I've not shown in a records roundup in a very, very long time. I have shown this format fairly recently, but that's been in the kind of new low-key indie style release that you get from synthwave acts on Time Slave recordings. But this is an original mini disc to show you, and I mean original as in one that would have come out in the 1990s. First one of these I've bought in I don't know how long. I think it must be getting on for 3 years. But I've added another one to the collection, and this is from Wes, and it's Welenga brackets Conscience Universelle. Wes had one hit, I think it was top 20, maybe scraped top 10 in I think 1996 with the brilliant Alane. It's a project between a guy who was in Deep Forest and the Cameroonian singer Wes Mandika, or Mandinka. It's a Discogs purchase, and I made a best offer. It wasn't that much anyway, and for a mini disc, and I made a best offer, and it ended up being £20 all in, including postage, from a UK Discogs seller. I'll give you a bit of a look at the mini disc. I won't go into too much detail on this because, as this being an original 1990s or turn of the millennium MD, it is one that I will eventually review for Mini Disc Monday. So that series has been extended by at least one episode thanks to me picking this up. And who knows, I might get more original OG MDs before MD Monday itself draws to an end. But Alane, I had the CD single, loved it. I think I've heard one or two others on this album as well over the years, even though it was really only a one-hit wonder. I'm saying he, I mean the project is called Wes, but the singer is also Wes. So you could call it a solo artist or a duo really, either's fine I think. But some good kind of Euro dance again, but in a more sort of new agey, African inspired obviously, sort of vein. Welenga by Wes. On now to two Discogs pickups from a seller in Japan. Now, one of these I wanted to show in my last New Order and related video last month. We'll get onto that in a moment. It didn't come in time, and it was an order of two albums. The other one, which I'll show you now, I was just going to show you in the records roundup, which came around next, which happens to be this one, obviously. And I only ordered this album because I'd added the next one to show you to my basket, and it said I was under the minimum amount by a very little amount, something like 200 yen or something daft, to order. So I had to look for something that was cheap to add to the basket so I could get the thing that I really wanted. And the cheap thing that I added was this compilation, Hardcore Uproar. Now that's a bit of a misnomer really, calling this Hardcore Uproar. It's not a hardcore album or rave. It's kind of a bog standard, cheapo dance compilation, of which I've shown a few of these in recent months, to be honest. This was about 500 yen, which I think translates at very cheap, no more than a few quid really. But I had to add something else to the basket to get the following item, which was more expensive, but it was the thing that I wanted really, as it's New Order related. But just to give you an indication of some of the artists on here: A Tribe Called Quest, Betty Boo, Where Are You Baby, Dream Warriors, Adventures of Stevie V, Adamski, Snap, 808 State, MC Tunes vs 808 State, Black Box, Wee Papa Girl Rappers, etc. So some pretty big hits of the early 90s on here. There's a little look at the vinyl. It doesn't look like it's got an original inner sleeve, but it's got one of these transparent inners that are pretty good. Just added it to the basket really, but there was enough stuff on here that I know I like, and stuff that I'm not familiar with, hopefully I will like. Hardcore Uproar. So from that Japanese seller was something that is New Order related, although it's very tenuously New Order related. There's one New Order track on it that I don't own on any other format. The album is another Various Artists one, The Beautiful Game, the official album of Euro 96. Looks like there's autographs on the disc. It's not, obviously, it's just handwritten style of some of the band names that are on here, including New Order themselves. So the reason I wanted this is because it's got the 1996 remix of World in Motion on, and this was the only album or any sort of release that World in Motion 96 was released on. New Order, to the best of my knowledge, and I really should know, and I do know, but I always doubt myself, but they never put World in Motion 96 out on a future single or anything like that as a bonus track. The main single off here was Baddiel Skinner and Lightning Seed's Three Lions, and there's kind of like a nice mixture of indie and Britpop style stuff on here as well. Black Grape, England's Irie, that was another standalone single. Jamiroquai, Teenage Fan Club, The Shaman, Primal Scream, Northern Uproar, Boo Radleys. Yeah, in fact, I used to own this album on CD back in the 90s. I think it was a few years after it came out that I picked it up cheap. But I wanted this edition in my collection because it's a nice picture disc. Don't know how nice it's going to sound, it being a picture disc of almost 30 years ago. The audio's probably not going to be great, but it's a collection piece, really. The World in Motion 96 remix is a little bit weak for me as well, but it's a New Order track that I haven't owned physically. I don't own it digitally for that matter either. So I want it for the New Order and related collection. Brings back some great memories of a great football tournament here in England in 1996. Great time to be alive, really. Some may disagree, but for me it was anyway. The beautiful game, the Euro 96 compilation.
You got to hold and give, but do it at the right time. You can't be slow or fast, but you must get to the line. They'll always hit you and hurt you, defend and attack. There's only one way to beat them, get round the back. Catch me if you can, cause I'm the England man. And what you're looking at is the master plan. We ain't no hooligans, this ain't a football song. 3 lions on my chest, I know we can't go wrong.
We're playing for England. We're playing the song. We're singing for England. Arrivederci, it's 1-on-1. We're playing for England. We're playing the song. We're singing for England. Arrivederci, it's
Alright then, final thing to show you is another album from a Discogs seller, this one a UK seller. I'm going to lift this big box up though. Now then, there is an LP in here and there's also a vinyl box set. Now, I'm not going to show you the box set in this video because I'm going to do a standalone unboxing of that right after I've shot this, and you will see that video in a few days time. But I will show you the album. I've of course opened this box already just to make it a bit easier for me during this video. So the album to show you is a little bit of an impulse purchase, but then again it does fit my Pet Shop Boys and related collection because it is Eighth Wonder's Fearless. So of course the Patsy Kensit led group, this is their only full-length studio album. I think they released a mini album that did well in Japan a year or two before this came out in 1988. I think Patsy Kensit's brother Jamie is one of the members of the group as well. I couldn't say exactly who that is. Maybe it's the guy who she's standing next to there. I don't honestly know. Have a little look at the vinyl while we're here on the CBS label. And I thought I'd get this. I mean, I was looking for the box set. I'm not going to speak any more on that because that's what I'm going to talk about and show you in the next video. Saw this from the same seller, and of course it's got I'm Not Scared, which was their top 10 single here in the UK. Horrible PVC outer there. I think I'm going to chuck that straight out and put this in a better one. But I'm Not Scared, written and produced by the Pet Shop Boys. Pet Shop Boys don't produce or write anything else on this album, which is a bit of a shame really, but as I hadn't owned I'm Not Scared by Eighth Wonder, I've got the PSB version a few times now, I thought that I would pick this up, and this was just over a £5 as well, so nice and cheap to be honest. So there we go, Eighth Wonder and Fearless.
Your life's a mystery, mine is an open book. If I could read your mind, I think I'd take a look. I'm not scared, baby, I don't care. What have you got to hide? What do you need to prove? You're always telling lies, and that's the only truth. I don't care, baby, I'm not scared. Tonight the streets are full of actors. I don't know why. Oh, take these dogs away from me before they bite. What have you got to say? Shadows in your past.
And that's it for Records Roundup number 93. Thank you all for watching today. I'm going to wrap this up pretty quickly, as like I say, I've got a big old box set unboxing that I'm very excited about, that I want to get filmed right after I finished here. So special thanks go to my wonderful subscribers and generous patrons. I'm going to go now. Good stuff to listen to over the coming days and weeks, and I do hope that all of you will join me again next time for my next records roundup and music collecting video. Cheers everyone. See ya!